Well, I'm going to do a two-part video. Last weekend, I went out, just kind of put some corn out. I shot a couple of clips when I was out there. It was really wet. I mean, absolutely a mud fest out there. Not much going on, but I'll show you those two clips now. Well, I had to jump start the four-wheeler, so I'm going to have to leave it running, so I'll try to get away from it. When I get done with this, I'm going to have to pull the battery out and go get a new battery for it. We got a lot of melted snow. It is melting, which is good, but we still got a bunch left. Down here in one of the food plots down here, we've been throwing corn out down here. I got a camera there, and some of the other ones, and I see there's actually still corn down here. Ton of droppings right here. We've been throwing up the corn, but tells me they're doing good if there's still corn out here. They're doing really good if there's still corn. The pictures look good, the numbers look good, still a lot of deer, a lot of turkeys. So I'm curious to see now the actual plot itself, if they'll start eating this. And so as I look around, you can kind of see all the tops are chewed off, and now I don't know if that's happened. Looks to me like that happened before we got all the snow, because where it's melting through doesn't really look like there's been deer. So my curiosity is there's a lot of food under all this snow, but I don't know if it's still any good this time of year after all the snow, and if they'll still eat it. So we'll see as this melts if they'll start eating it or not. So I'm gonna wander around here a little bit. It's shed season, so I'm gonna kind of just walk around here real slowly and look around a little bit in some of these heavily used trails and see if we see any sheds. See where they've been crossing, and there's a trail there. So I'm gonna take a look around here, look for sheds, and throw out some corn, and then I'll move to the next one. Well, this plot here is not really melted out. There wasn't any corn left over here either, but this one's still full of snow, so I can't really tell if anything's going on with the deer. I just moved a couple of cameras around. Otherwise that's it. Otherwise we're just gonna get out of here and head to the other side. Boy, you want to talk about a mess out here. The feeder is literally in standing water. It's not working right. I need to empty it out and take the motor part home and see what's going on with it, but I'm not gonna mess with it now because it's in about 4 or 5 inches of water. So I threw some corn out up in the field. We've got a river of water running down here. We've got a river of water running down through there. This plot is still pretty snow covered, and I don't really see where they've been in it eating at all. That's my big curiosity. So I'm gonna try to change this cart, if this other one, if I even get to it. There's so much water down there. But the good news is the tractor started, so that's always a bonus. So yeah, I'll keep moving here, but it's kind of a wet mess out here. So today Cruz and I went out, did a little shed hunting, found our first shed of the year. That was very exciting. Kind of went and looked around, kind of surprised to see the plots there's no snow on them, but now they're basically rotten. So I guess they're done. I guess they're over with. Underneath the snow they were green. As the snow melted off they were green, but soon as the air and the sun got to them, they just turned brown. They're kind of and honestly, they're starting to smell. So they must be rotten. I was kind of surprised to see that in some of the trail camera pictures, there were deer out eating. So that was a little surprising, but I'll jump into some of that footage now. Well, it's a beautiful day. It's almost 40 degrees out here. It's shed season. The snow's finally gone. We're gonna do some looking here. Cruz is already out walking. He's going to start walking this field. I think our plan today is we're going to do kind of this field right here. We're going to probably walk and drive here with a four-wheeler. Then we're going to kind of walk this part up here and then walk this food plot. Kind of walk and drive that. While I'm out here, this feeder's not working, even though there's a bunch of corn under it. It's not working right, so I'm going to pull the motor out, take that back, see what's going on with that. Otherwise, it's a beautiful 40-degree day, and we're gonna run around here and see if we can find some sheds. Well, the plots are finally opened up now. You know, the interesting thing, this is my first real successful year of having this winter blend, and as the snow was opening up, it was still green. You know, it was interesting. We had this carpet of green under the snow. Now that the snow's gone, it's automatically turned brown, and I'm guessing that it's done. It's rotten. It's no good. So I'm assuming there's no food here. So which is too bad. I guess it's gone. It's time for spring, and time to another couple weeks we'll start digging it up and replanting. So but there was a lot of food here. There was a lot of food here, and they didn't get to eat it. So kind of a bummer, but we're gonna walk through this and look for sheds. So as you can see in that clip, it's pretty rotten. I was really surprised when I started going through these pictures. I'll throw in a couple pictures here. You can see the deer were clearly eating it. I've got it on burst mode. I kind of went back and forth, and they look like they're eating it, which surprised me. There's corn right over the hill. In fact, some of those pictures of the deer eating in the plot, there's deer in the cornfield behind them, and there's still corn on the ground on the ground out there. So I was surprised, but that was earlier in the week. I don't know as it gets warms up if it'll get ickier, but they're still eating a little bit. So but I'll jump into the rest of the footage here now after the pictures. Well, I'm going to walk through the woods here a little bit. Cruz is out walking the food plot out there. Walk through here a little bit. Lots of fresh tracks in here. So, you know, we're the end of March, so we know that the deer dropped antlers when we had all that really bad weather. It was cold. We had snow. So we know they've dropped a good month and a half ago. So hard to say where they were. You know, we're going to check food and we're going to check travel routes. We don't have a lot of buck bedding per se on this property, but we're going to kind of check the travel routes and of course the food real heavy and see what we can find. I kind of walked down through here already, and it's just absolutely littered with droppings down here. I mean, it's just thick. This whole little woods between the creek on up to the ag fields is just, I mean, it's just a spider web of trails and it's just a carpet of droppings in here. I mean, they're just in here so thick. So I'm gonna keep kind of just meandering through here, see if I can find any sheds. It's hard when they don't have any set trails. They kind of just meander through here, but we'll see what we come up with. Haha, I just walked up on one. Just a little guy. I walked out here in the in the food plot. I kind of went on a trail there, and I came down here. Cruz was down there. I went up here, and I was gonna just hop right back on the four-wheeler, and I turned down this little trail here, and there it is. Come check it out, Buggy. Okay. We found one.
First one of the day.
First one of the year. Little Forky. All right, I'm gonna take some pictures of it. We'll look around and see if we can find some more. Well, one thing I noticed out driving through here is how all these stalks are chewed off. I mean, so that tells me the deer were eating it. I mean, these were all, you can see, well, that doesn't work very good when I'm standing in the light, but you can see these big old stalks are chewed right down. You know, so they ate quite a bit of this. What makes me sad as I walk through it, there's just a ton of organic matter that kind of went to waste, but it'll all turn into fertilizer. So I don't know what to think of this yet. Still in the analysis stage. Well, we've done some looking and been unsuccessful. We looked a bunch over in those fields. We didn't go through it all. We kind of did the edges and stuff. So now we're gonna, it's sunny out, and in this corn, man, I think it's gonna be real hard to find them. So we're gonna hit some more of this brushy area here. Cruz is down there. We're gonna kind of work this brushy area here. Then we're gonna go around the other side. There's a creek right here. We're gonna work that side over there a little bit yet. Cruz is like, Dad, there's some big rubs over here. A bunch of rubs.
Oh, I didn't see
You can see this little one here, but I mean, look at this. Look at this tree. It's been rubbed and rubbed and rubbed to the point where it's literally broke off. Let me see if I can back up here. rubbed to the point where it got broke off. Another little one here that's all rubbed down. Is there more down here, Bug? Oh yeah, there's a whole.
I only saw this little one over here.
Yeah, here's another one that's been rubbed right to the point that it's. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, all these little saplings along here, these little ones have been all rubbed pretty hard. So we'll definitely keep our eye open here. Maybe we'll find another shed laying down here. Well, we're over on this side now. We were just over there and I was filming before up on top of that little hill there. We kind of worked through there and up through on that side a little bit. This plot's about the same. You can see the tops stalks are all chewed off, which happened earlier in the winter. And again, this was green as the snow was melting, and as soon as it dries out, boy, it just turns brown and mush. So I take it she's garbage now. I've been throwing some corn out here and there's still corn out here. I think where the snow and stuff's gone, I don't really think they really need any supplemental feeding now. I think they're good. They're not even what I got, so I'll go scatter it somewhere else. But we're gonna go walk through here, then we're gonna kind of do this along the road, and we're gonna head down and look at that plot. So we'll keep moving here. Just heard a very, very good sound. I just heard a rooster pheasant over on the other side, over by the feeder. Happy to hear that. Here's kind of what I was talking about earlier. This plot is green, but I think it's going to turn brown and turn to mush and garbage here any minute. But I guess again, I'm still not sure whether we were successful with this or not. I don't know if the big heavy winter just had held it back so much with 2 feet of snow on it the deer couldn't get down to it. But I mean, it seemed like it worked. You can see all the tops are all chewed off, so I don't know. I haven't found any more sheds yet. We're still looking, so I'm gonna take a look over here and wander through this side over here real quick. There's not much here, and see what I see. Got a cute little video of our waterfall. Now I'm not really sure how this all happened, but the creek comes over there and it's a good 5-6 feet higher there, and this isn't rock, it's all like the root ball from this tree. It's all blown out down here and it's shallow and it wise. There's a big tree jam up there. I can get some video when I get to the other side, and it goes around. Obviously the water goes the other way. This island, this tree and this island, the water goes on the other side of it. And again, there's a waterfall over there, not rock, logs that run all the way around here, and they come together. In this, when this dries out, this will be dry and there'll be just a little bit of water running over there. Which, the thing that's weird is the creek up there, it's not deep. This isn't dammed up like where it's really deep. I often wondered if this wasn't here slowing the water down, there'd just be a trickle up there, because the water, a lot of it's only ankle deep to knee deep at best up there. So it's interesting how there's all this drop here and nature's made a dam somehow. I have no idea how long this has been here, and slowed the water down, because if it hadn't, that'd probably only be a trickle, the rest of that coming up through there when the water goes down, when it's not flooding. So just something interesting. I've always liked this spot. When the water's up, you've got kind of a natural waterfall here. So I'm gonna keep wandering around. I'm not finding any sheds. So this is the top side. I was standing right on that point. That waterfall's right on the other side there, and then you can see there's another big jam right here, and the water comes around there. Trying to adjust this higher so you can see. You can see the water comes there, hits this first jam and it splits, and it comes over here, hits another jam root ball here, and it drops down into here, goes around this island that way. When the water gets high enough, when it's flooding, it goes both ways. It goes down that little jam over there, creates a waterfall over there. So it's a really neat little feature here. It only happens when the water's up. Otherwise it just comes around this one side, but there's still a natural dam here. See, we've got a big branch drop down in here. Another snag. We'll see what happens with that. I keep losing bank here. I've got a post here, so when I'm running the tractor, but she keeps eroding. I think it used to be back there, and it keeps coming out. So, well, I'm gonna keep moving. I'd like to find another shed, but I think we're about out of luck today. Well, we got us a pretty nice den here. Wish I still had the digging dogs. We'd go after this once the season came.
Looks like a bunny den.
You know, at first I was gonna say fox, but it's real wide and narrow. We're gonna put a trail camera on this. Remind me next time we come back, let's put a trail camera on this den. It's right on the road, right on the road ditch here. Yeah, we're gonna put it. Let's see if I can find it. I don't see any trees, but we'll find one. But we got to come back with one. We don't have one. Maybe tomorrow we'll come back. Well, I think we're about wrapping up here. We've walked I don't know, an hour and a half today and only found that one earlier, which is all right. It's better than nothing, but we're gonna kind of wrap up here, do a little tooling around on the four-wheeler on our way out and see if we see anything. But otherwise, you know, pretty productive day. Definitely looks like the deer are obviously eating good. There's a ton of corn left out in the picked cornfield that they just couldn't get to before. The corn that I've been putting out, they're not even eating it all now, so I didn't even bother to put most of it out today. So I'm gonna stop doing that. There's no need for it. They're not eating it. They've obviously made it through winter and they're finding plenty of food now. So yeah, I pulled cards. I'll see what's on them. We found the one shed. Tons and tons and tons of sign. Lots of rubs, lots of droppings, which we kind of knew. There's a ton of deer that run around here. We've barely just scratched the surface with walking this property though. Even though it's not very big, it just, the whole thing is just absolutely spider webbed with trails. So we got lots of more days of walking and hopefully we got some good weather coming. So unless I find something else, don't put the stick in the den. Welcome to having children. Well, as you can see, it was a pretty good day. The plots are kind of, they're a smelly mess. Not much going on with them. The other plots that I had cameras on, one of them the camera tipped over after a day. And the other one, I had corn out in them, and so the deer were picking at the corn. They weren't really eating the plots. So I don't really know what else is going on with them. But right now I'm kind of focused on looking for sheds. The deer look healthy. I'll post a couple pictures after this. The deer look really healthy. The turkeys look healthy. They're not even eating the corn and stuff anymore, so I'm not even going to put it out really right now. I'm going to focus on we're going to keep looking through the property for sheds. I'm going to go put a camera out on that den and see what that is, if that's a fox or what it is. What's going on in that den, just for fun. And then I'm seriously thinking about maybe doing some turkey hunting. It's been a lot of years since I turkey hunted. Cruz wants a turkey hunt. Last year Grandpa and Clint took him out. I think this might be the spring. Usually I'm so wound up to go boating and camping. I don't even think about turkey hunting, but we don't have a boat right now, and so I think I'm going to focus on that. So that wraps it up for today.